We're going back to our live, extremely intriguing and informative, enlightening interview with Alan Watt of CuttingThroughTheMatrix.com here in a moment, and we're going to open the phones up. Before we do that, though, I want to thank a few of the sponsors that have made today's show possible. One of them is MySolarBackup.com. A lot of things can cut off your electrical power, hurricanes, snow, and ice storms. Listeners should move towards getting off the grid, and here's a good way to do just that. A solar power generator is now available from our longtime sponsor, Solutions from Science. You can use it to run in a Cola Blue, whatever. You get an emergency power backup kit, which consists of the power source, 800-watt generator, and a high-efficiency solar panel designed to provide endless electricity. Remember, too, that generators, like gas generators, need gas, but in a blackout, gas pumps can't pump gas because they run on electricity. It's the perfect emergency backup for troubled times. The government doesn't own the sun yet, folks, so make your move today. MySolarBackup.com. That's MySolarBackup.com, or give the great folks a call at 877-327-0365, 877-327-0365. Got a new sponsor here I'm really excited about. It's EcuadorCentral.com. EcuadorCentral.com. You've heard of all the folks moving down there, like the Health Ranger and people. And this will let you know if you're going to move down there or get a second home down there or bug out for a while down there. You want to be in the mountains. Explains that kind of stuff. It is your duty to know every option you have to protect you and your family, whether you are looking for a rental property or a new start, or if you just want to know your options. I urge you to go to EcuadorCentral.com, ECUADOUR. Just added a word to that, a letter to that. ECUADOR Central, EcuadorCentral.com. The website is great. It will give you all the information you would want to know before you go. Go to EcuadorCentral.com and see what these folks are doing. Whether you're interested in real estate investment, travel, or just want to see pictures and videos, go to EcuadorCentral.com. That's EcuadorCentral.com. And lastly here, I want to thank the great sponsors at eFoodsDirect.com, the premier storable foods company, non-GMO, non-hybrid. They have an entire organic line, and it's all about being larger meals than what other places have, fresher meals, no GMO, no MSG. It's just great, and it was all recently produced. I mean, like the last month or quicker. I mean, this isn't some 10-year-old junk you're buying. Once you get it, it lasts more than 10 years. So eFoodsDirect.com, one word, eFoodsDirect.com. You'll never stand in a bread line if you have your own bread. That's eFoodsDirect.com or 1-800-409-5633, 1-800-409-5633, eFoodsDirect.com. And it is these sponsors that make the whole show possible. How are we able to do this? How are we able to have this facility and be on shortwave and AM and FM and reach all these people and have these webmasters and all this bandwidth? You, the supporters, and the sponsors. So I want to thank all of you out there. All right, Alan, I'm going to shut up for this rest of this segment before we go to calls. Getting into what their current operation is, what you think's happening with the flu, those new World Health Organization documents you have, they're up on CuttingThroughTheMatrix.com, and some news about how we beat these people. You know, there is a big awakening happen. So that collision between people that want freedom and decent humanity and for honorableness to be held up, and those that want death and destruction?
Well, I think the people first have to understand that they're not dealing with democratic institutions. You're dealing with people with an agenda who are all pre-chosen before they get into politics. They're trained into their roles, and they're all on board with this agenda. So technically, there's no negotiation with them, to be honest with you. The only thing that's left outside of outright revolution is for large groups of people to literally hit them economically. For instance, as an example, the nurses of New York State have been told that they're going to be fired if they don't take this swine flu shot. My suggestion to them is for them to walk off en masse and just walk out the hospital en masse for a day or two, and you'll see the howls and the screams as those guys want you to bring you to the negotiating table. That these are the only kinds of strategies left for people outside revolution. And the boys at the top know this because they've been setting up internal armies and securities for 20 years for this particular time that we're going through now. They knew this time would come. So, to be honest, there's no easy way out of this. This is life or death situations that we're going through right now. They have their depopulation program. The World Health Organization at their meeting in 2006, their world meeting, stated that if they can get the public to accept mandatory inoculation for one thing, then they can introduce more mandatory inoculations every year for the rest of the adult's life, including annual boosters for every shot they've ever had. We're going to be toxic laboratories, walking test tubes with recombinant DNA all getting together and killing us all the quicker through cancers. They know this at the top. So the thing is, you can't take a step forward to negotiate. That what you say is no. That's the word we're going to relearn, is no, and say, no, I'm not taking this. I don't care what you want to do with me, because you're going to kill me anyway. So I'm not taking this shot. And people have got to start regaining their individual rights and freedoms. If you don't fight for them, you don't have any. You can't write something on a piece of paper and go back to sleep thinking it's all done. And even the founding fathers of the U.S. said that every generation would have to fight to keep it. And have been lulled into sleep by, again, propaganda and experts. We're the experts. We're in charge of all the big problems that you just don't understand.
And Alan,
don't get involved. So we have to say no to everything that's coming down the pike. No, that's all we have left.
And Alan, continuing on the flu front, they're now ordering kids to go to school to take it. No law, they just do it. Yes. Clinics all over the country are saying take it, or we'll call CPS on you. No law, they just do it. Yep. We're seeing the real tyranny, and they're bragging that they're setting the precedent to force over 56 vaccine boosters, so that's now in the hundreds, every couple of years, of meningitis shots, hepatitis shots, the AIDS vaccine. And Bill Gates has now bragged, and it's in the Associated Press, and he laughs when he gives the speech. I found out we're giving people polio with the new vaccine. It happens to be live. Yep. And then the little elite clubs, they all giggle because the local good old boys, they're in on the fun.
That's right. That's Nigeria. Nigeria's now got a new evolved type of polio that they admit now the World Health Organization came from the particular vaccine they were giving the people there. It's evolved into a new hyper polio that's rampaging through the public. It came from the vaccine. They admit it because you can actually
and now they admit in the mainstream literature that the live nasal vaccine is going to create hundreds of mutations and is what's spreading H1N1. So out in the open, they hit us with all the fools that are shooting it up their kids' nose, sneezing on everybody, and the public is so dumbed down they can't even understand it.
Again, they've been trained that experts don't lie, and we've had 50 years of training into this new type of system. The public can't believe. As I say, you can get up the ladder, but until you literally cross the last rung and stand on it, you won't see the big picture. And the last rung is difficult. It's difficult to cross and say, they're not just talking about killing us, they have been killing us, and they want to kill more of us. When you really understand that, it's true, you'll see everything completely different from then on as to what you can do. So you can't negotiate with tyranny.
Well, the key here is they're not negotiating, they're not stopping. It's a power cult.
Yeah.
And we have to admit they're testing the soft kill now. Now, I want to talk some about solutions here. But everything you bring up, just literally flags come up because it's all so accurate. Dealing with all of this and watching them kill us, and then all these little petty power people who don't even care if they're being killed themselves as long as they can kill people under them. It's very sick.
Yes. And again, too, they tested all of it. Stanford is a big player in this. All the universities have their specialized areas in creating vaccines or bacterium or viruses for warfare purposes, but they're also into the social science and psychology. And Stanford is one of the prime universities for mass control, basically. They did the Milgard experiments on testing people's obedience to authority by shocking people, at least training people that they're actually shocking a victim on the other side of the glass. There were just actors on the other side of the glass, but they didn't know, and they go up to kill voltage on the dial there as long as someone above them took authority and responsibility for it. They know how to use the public against the public.
Yeah, 90%. You can take a farm boy, make him a cop. 6 months later, 90% in the Stanford research will put a gun to their mother's head and blow her brains across the room if someone in a uniform orders them to do it.
Yes, And it's true. See, these are old techniques that have been understood by the high, sciences and occult guys and masonry and so on at the top. You find in the riots of New York in 1800s that the mayor in the Tammany Hall riots, he said that we can always hire half the poor to kill the other half. That's what he said. They understand this, that money's the key. I can survive by getting money. I'll be on the winning side. They'll leave me alone. That's what they think until their usefulness is over, and then they're eliminated too.